Hello friend, how is it going? Welcome back to Toyota Maintenance YouTube channel. And it's a time for stories. I will tell you a story. This is the story of the new customer who discovered me locally and owns this wonderful 2017 Toyota Prius. He wanted to get it fully inspected, see where it's standing, but there is a complication. He just had very long diagnosis done by the dealer because he was losing coolant. And basically he contacted me, he found me while his vehicle was at the dealer for a couple of days, and they were doing their magic, trying to find out why that engine is losing coolant. Not the hybrid coolant, not the converter coolant, but the engine coolant. And this is what he told me. He said, I didn't know what's going on, but the coolant in the engine was coming low. I will have a warning light. Apparently, there was coolant coming out of the tailpipe. If I grab a light, I should grab a light and show you how clean it is inside. It basically feels like somebody washed off the sides. Right, there's not even that surface raised. It's somebody steam cleaned inside of this exhaust pipe. I hope you can see it. Trying my best to see. There's not even that surface raised. It's white. It's perfectly steam cleaned. And here are me some details from that diagnosis. He said he paid like 3 hours of diagnostic when the technicians suspected headgasket on this engine. And they were pressurizing it and looking for where that coolant is disappearing. And they came to conclusion that the engine is perfectly fine and finally found the problem. So his money spent on that diagnosis, we will learn from it. And if you guys have that problem in your Prius in the future, you will also be looking at the things which I will show you just now. As vehicles evolve, they are unfortunately and unnecessarily getting more and more expensive and complicated. That complication brings the expense. And to you guys who know these systems, you know that this Prius is complicated in this way. There's not just exhaust pipe here with a catalytic converters continuing in the back. Toyota, long time ago, they put in this design also heat exchanger. And I will show you where it is. And that was actually the culprit. At the very end, the techs find out that the reason the coolant is disappearing in the engine bay, there is that expansion tank. It was disappearing from the radiator. Once again, it was engine coolant. The culprit is this part. It's this heat exchanger. If you look here, this one was actually leaking around here. Hopefully you can see that it's still wet, and there are maps of drying coolant all over it. Sometimes these heat exchangers fell internally. They don't leak outside here. They fell internally and then sent that coolant. So if you look here, it was leaking right here. I hope you can see it. That sent that coolant all the way here. This muffler, and it's not right now, this muffler is not full of coolant, but this muffler, if you will shake it, you will hear the water, the coolant, like in the bucket or something, right? This will be full of coolant, and it will be dripping coming out. You can see it wet still. This vehicle came, it's scheduled for that repair because Toyota dealers said we don't have that part. We don't have it in the stock. You can either leave it here or carefully with adding the coolant drive around. Of course the owner didn't. It came completely empty. So I put some distilled water on it not to waste the coolant. And the dealer, he's scheduled probably in a day or two. He's coming back to them. They will be replacing this whole part. I don't know exactly what part, how much is involved, but you can see it's a one part here. I think he told me the guesstimate of the hip, I believe I remember, it was $1,700 for replacing this part. But this is where it fails. It might be dripping outside, it might be leaking inside only, or both. It can be combined. And these are basically two rubber hoses that are coming from engine bay. If that ever happens to you, I believe it can be bypassed to stop cooling, to stop losing this coolant, or bypass it forever, basically. This is an extra, as usually, these are extra features. I personally remember before I left the dealer, it was in 2013, very long time ago. I remember, me personally, we were replacing bunch of them. There was either technical service bulletin or there was a recall. I don't remember that right now. I just wanted to really quickly film this for you so you can learn. Not necessarily your head gasket is blown and it needs an entire head gasket job, which is expensive. Obviously, you can imagine doing that. This vehicle doesn't need that. The engine is completely fine. The compression, testing the pressure of the coolant through the cooling system didn't discover any leaks inside of the engine. They discovered it was actually leaking right here at this part, externally and I believe also internally. However, I haven't been there. I'm just telling you in general what you can expect, what you could check in the case that you have coolant, engine coolant loss on 2017 Prius or the similar years. I see this vehicle first time today and I immediately discovered low brake fluid in the reservoir. The front brake pads are fine, but the rear ones are down to 1 millimeter. So right now I need to start immediately brake job. It's already 3 p.m. The time flies. I just keep filming and posting videos for you and not much is done. So I want to share that with you, make it easier for you in the future if this ever happens to you. I hope you find this video informative, entertaining. If you like it, please give it a thumb up and stay tuned. I have way more coming your way soon. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, my friend.